Hello, I'm Alice, and in my mission to share knowledge and break stigma, today I want to talk about social anxiety and what can be done about it. So I'm a psychologist, a CBT therapist, an art therapist, and a mindfulness teacher. I'm the clinical director of Crossroads Psychology, a clinic that works in London and online. So social anxiety is one of the most common of the anxiety disorder. It is affecting around 10% of the population, which means one person every 10 will have a diagnosis of social anxiety. And if you think about this worldwide, it is huge. Unfortunately, social anxiety is linked with reduced satisfaction and progression in life, missed opportunities, that being that of career or personal life. So it is only understandable that social anxiety often comes followed by depression, hence the need for this video. In short, social anxiety is characterized by the fear of judgment from others that impact on the person's behavior before, during, and after a social situation. People with social anxiety will often fear coming across as stupid or not interesting or incompetent or unpleasant and so on. And this creates a lot of difficult feelings about social interaction. So they act in a way that they think will prevent that fear from happening. So before a social situation, a person with social anxiety will worry a lot about their coming interaction, being that work-related or recreational. They often play possible scenario in their head and imagine horrible outcomes. And this translates in behaviors such as preparing topic of conversations, preparing escape route, or avoiding social situations altogether. These actions are unfortunately counterproductive, as the more we prepare for something or avoid something, the more we tell our mind that that something is difficult or dangerous, with the result of increasing the overall anxiety towards it. During a social situation, a person with social anxiety would typically try to avoid being the center of attention. Some people instead will overcompensate and act like they are the art of the party. By doing so, they're not really showing themselves, only a persona. And this creates a barrier between them and others. But let's stay with the typical presentation of social anxiety for today. So people would talk very little, would not ask questions, would sit in a corner or stick with people they know. They will check how they're coming across and often prepare and rehearse what to say before saying it. Again, these behaviors is if on one side they make us feel safer, unfortunately they backfire. For example, if in a meeting we are preparing and rehearsing what to say in our head, we're not really listening. So we might say something when the conversation has already moved on from that something, or we leave a long gap before talking. And this unfortunately increases the likelihood of the person feared outcome, being that coming across as stupid or not interested or not competent. Also, people with social anxiety will ruminate after a social situation has ended, and then they will criticize themselves for their performance, again, adding to the anxiety for the next social interaction. So you see my point. The things we do because they make us feel safer backfire by either increasing the anxiety of social situation or increasing the likelihood of the unwanted outcome to happen. So what are we supposed to do to stop this cycle? First, we need to understand that yes, people judge, but not as much as a person with social anxiety thinks. Also, people judgment can be positive if we are able to show our qualities. The problem in social anxiety is that in an effort to prevent bad outcomes from happening, the person is self-conscious, self-intimidated, and overall unable to express themselves, being that because they withdraw or because they present a persona that is not really them. And this is primarily due to the person's use of their own attention. I'll explain. A person with social anxiety sees themselves as a social object. This means that they look at themselves from the outside in, like another person might see them. And this inhibits their natural behavior. Instead of engaging in conversation, they are checking how they're coming across. They are guessing what other people might think of them, and they feel under scrutiny all the time. but it is them doing the scrutiny. If you think about the attention as a light, every time you're checking how people see you, what impression you're making, you're placing their light from them onto you. No wonder you feel in the spotlight, but it is you placing the light there. So what you want to do instead is to turn that light around from the inside out and shine your light on the world around you. There is a mindfulness exercise on my website to learn to do that. And then you might say, but what if they don't like me? Like in any anxiety disorder, you need to test your fears. Start by making a list of all the situations that embarrass you and scare you, situations that you avoid. And starting from the easiest one, practice facing that situation by focusing outside, from the inside out, without censoring yourself. Make some predictions of what the anxiety is telling you might happen and see if it really happens. So if you say what pops into your head without second guessing yourself and rehearsing it, do you really say something stupid? And how would you know that people think you said something stupid? You want to look for evidence in the environment, not listening to what your anxiety is telling you, because we already know what your anxiety is telling you. Then repeat each situation until that situation doesn't generate anxiety anymore, and then move on to a harder situation. The exercise is always the same. You make your prediction, enter the situation by focusing from the inside out, and you will feel anxious at first. But the more you stay in the situation, focusing outside, the less anxious you feel. Don't censor or double guess yourself, but just say what comes naturally from the flow of the conversation. And every time you notice that you're checking how you're coming across, take that spotlight and turn it around from you to the topic of conversation, from you to the message you want to convey. And then you review your predictions. Did they happen? How able were you to handle them if they did happen? Now, anxiety is always given by the overestimation of the danger. So thinking that something bad is more likely to happen than it actually is. And the underestimation of your coping abilities. So thinking that you are less able to handle it than you really are. The only way to overcome it is to give your mind the experience of facing that situation without relying on your safety behavior and discovering that nothing bad has happened, or if something did happen, you are more capable to handle it than you thought. Now, this is just an introduction to social anxiety. But before I go, I want to leave you with a reflection. You are you. And if people need to like you, they need to like you for who you are. You can't spend your life pretending to be someone else, trying to impress people, or hiding. And yes, some people might like you for that, but this takes a lot of effort and creates a lot of stress. There are 7 billion people in the world. Do you like everybody? And if you don't, is it okay not to be liked by everybody? People have opposite tastes. Do you really want to spend your life as a chameleon trying to please everybody, or worse, by hiding yourself so that people that would like you cannot see you either? Instead, you can be fully and apologetically yourself, and who will like you for who you really are, and who doesn't are better lost. These sentiments are usually mutual, so look for whom you like. Instead of checking if they like you, search for the people that you like. I hope this was helpful. Now go make your list. And for the free focus of attention mindfulness exercise, visit my website, which is www.crossroadspsychology.co.uk. And you will find me on the email, on the website, if you need more support with this. The link for the website is in bio. Bye.